Hi, I'm Michty Maxx, and I'm here to share this makeup inspired by the Cradle of Filth album cover, Bittersweets to Succubi. This is one of my favorite album images from the band, and I've always loved the costume the Dark Angel is wearing and the little imps that are nestled under her wings. This is a collaboration with Chiaroscuro, who is a talented Italian YouTube creator, and I love to watch all her darkly inclined makeup tutorials. We both love the band Cradle of Filth for their dark imagery and gothic beauty, so we decided to pick two different album covers and create makeup looks based on them. You can check out Chiaroscuro's tutorial on the album Dusk and Her Embrace, linked in the card above and the description box below. I got myself a little costume action and pulled out some of my gothic style accessories from my collection, including some Regal Rose rings and these custom collar and cuffs from collarfactory.com, which are apparently magnetic with a matching polarity to the inglot palettes, so sometimes this would happen. Anyway, I'll have my accessories listed in the description box. First up, I primed my eyelids with Too Faced Shadow Insurance, all the way up to the brow, out towards the temple, and focusing on underneath the eye, because I know I'm going to blend down low. I have the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly and the Sigma P82 Precision Round Brush to apply the product over my brow bone and pat it down to the crease. To set that, I used the lighter shade of the Inglot No. 100R eyeshadow on the Sigma E70 Synthetic Medium Angled Shading Brush for a matte light peach highlight on the brow bone. With the same brush, I mixed the middle and darkest strips of that peach eyeshadow for a quick transition shade to set the rest of the paint pot, before going into the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Peach Smoothie on the Sigma E39 Buff and Blend brush, and I'm beginning to add a shadow in the inner crook of the eye. Moving on to the Urban Decay Original Naked Palette eyeshadows Naked and Buck on the Sigma E70 Natural Hair Medium Angled Shading brush, and I'm running the mix through my crease. Then I'm picking up only Buck to intensify that sloped crease shape, taking it from an outer flickable wing and fading up towards the front of the eyebrow. I added some of this Inglot No. 464 DS eyeshadow above the crease to keep it nice and warm and blend the darker shadows upwards. I layered some more Buck deep in the socket, applying the shadow with just the tip and using the shorter bristles to buff out. I made sure to go back to Peach Smoothie to buff all those eyeshadows into each other. I have my Sedona Lace 88 Matte Palette, and I'm choosing this brown eyeshadow with the Zoeva Luxe Petite Crease brush to deepen the socket and exaggerate the slope of the crease up to that brow without hitting the actual eyebrow. I also increased the winged shape, taking it further out to my temple. To make sure to blend that out and keep the warmth in there, I used the Inglot Terracotta eyeshadow, focusing on blending the front of that cut crease shape right up into the front of the eyebrow hairs. It's all a process of layering the eyeshadows until you get a result you're happy with. I pulled out the Makeup Geek Corrupt Matte Black and then into the deep brown eyeshadow. I lightly dipped the Luxe Petite Crease brush to really darken the lowest point of the crease. Then I blended that through with only the brown and brought back the warm tones, because that's a big part of the cover artwork. Now onto the Makeup Forever Flash Palette. First, I'm taking the yellow cream and applying a thin layer to the inner third of my eyelid, using my finger to create a round shape through the socket and fading it out to the center of the lid. I'm picking out some yellow, red, and coral creams to mix together an orange color, and I also applied that with my finger on the middle third of my eyelid, taking it up to meet the socket line and blending out the edges. And lastly, I have the brown cream, which I'm applying to the outer corner of the lid and smoothing it into the crease and the orange to complete the gradient. And I'm picking up the Sugar Pill Burning Heart Quad to choose this primary yellow eyeshadow called Butter Cupcake with the MAC 239 brush, and I'm patting it on the inner third of my lid over the yellow cream base. I kept a sharp edge on the inner socket, creating a negative space between the lid and the cut crease eyebrow swoop. I picked up Flame Point on the other side of the same brush and patted it on the center of the eyelid, and then I took some more Butter Cupcake to rub between the separation line. I flipped the brush over and wiggled sideways in little motions across that line to blend the two shades together. Back into the Naked palette with the Sigma E56 shader brush, I picked up Dark Horse to pat onto the remaining outer corner space of my eyelid. I blended the dark brown eyeshadow into the orange until the gradient looked decent. I picked up the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow in Flamethrower, and using the same E56 shader lid brush, I bridged the gap between the dark shimmery brown and the matte orange shadow. I blended the outer corner with the Petite Crease brush and swiped my brush sideways to pull the color across onto the Flame Point eyeshadow. I made sure the outer corner flowed smoothly into the crease and had a little black metal break. I grabbed more corrupt eyeshadow from Makeup Geek on the Sigma E47 Shader Crease brush, and I'm mixing that with the dark brown from Sedona Lace to darken up the socket line. So it wasn't too harsh, I blended it out with the larger pointed crease brush. I pulled in more warmth at the top of the crease and refined the inner brow area, taking what was left on the Luxe Petite crease brush, following the lower edge of that line, and then really went nuts with the Inglot number 464 terracotta shade to blast the area with heat up into the brow hairs, before keeping the negative space underneath clean with Peach Smoothie. And refined the outer wing with all the fluffy brushes I've used so far, blending it further out into my temples angled upwards. Now I brought out the Physicians Formula eyeliner pen to create my winged eyeliner. Next I have the Urban Decay liquid liner in El Dorado, and I'm drawing above the black line on the inner half of my eyeliner, thickening up that inside section and layering the product until it's a nice strong gold, while fading it out when it hits flamethrower eyeshadow. I decided to grab the Sugar Pill Penelope pigment and take the chunky copper on that Sigma E56 brush with a spritz of MAC Fix Plus to intensify the copper shine on the outer third. I of course blended it into the orange eyeshadow and then cleaned up the black liquid liner. I have these two glitters to play with. First I've got eye candy sprinkles in Bananarama and the Lit Clearly Liquid Glitter base on the back of my hand, so I can dip the Lit Cosmetics liner brush into the mixing medium and then the glitter to paint on some sparkle, fading it out to the halfway point of the lash line. Then I grabbed the Lit Glitter in Mexican Lucky size 2 with the mixing medium on the same brush and tapped that lightly to blend the glitter across the lash line, creating a gradient from gold to copper orange stacked above the black liner. I picked up the Inglot Matte Gel Eyeliner in number 77 and their Duraline to apply to my tight line with a pointed cotton bud, also getting the corners. I cleaned up my tear duct and lower lash line to make way for more eyeliner on the Sigma E11 eyeliner brush, creating an inner corner point and running that along my waterline. I perfected the inner wing before grabbing the Makeup Geek pencil brush to smudge the liner into my lashes. Now for the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Punch, and I'm drawing that on the inner third of my lower lid. I'm following that up with the orange version of the pencil called Puppy for the middle of the lash line, and then onto Brouhaha, which is the brown one, for the outer corner and right close to the eyelashes. I smudged the underside with a cotton bud and went into the Makeup Forever Flash Palette Black Cream to darken up the lash line with the pencil brush before bringing in the Sugar Pill Butter Cupcake and Flame Point eyeshadows on the tip of the 239 brush to set those pencils and make a gradient matching the upper lid. I buffed out the underside of that with Peach Smoothie on the Buff and Blend brush and chased that with the terracotta eyeshadow to really blend that low. I brought in some of that dark brown on the outer corner using the Petite crease brush and darkened up the lash line with the Makeup Geek Corrupt on the Sigma E15 Flat Definer brush. I buffed that down with the Sigma E47 Shader Crease brush and strengthened the ColourPop Puppy Pencil and Sugar Pill Flame Point eyeshadow. In for more Dark Horse at the outer corner, I pressed on some more of the black eyeshadow to really darken up the lash line, joining it up to the winged eyeliner and shaping the eye, before starting in with MAC Pigment in Vanilla, and I'm using the Sigma E05 eyeliner brush with the pigment dry to apply above the inner point and stroking it up around and into the inner crease. And then I grabbed Illamasqua Sealing Gel to draw a more distinct line underneath, highlighting the point and defining it. I blurred the gold into the yellow eyeshadow with more Butter Cupcake. I curled my eyelashes in preparation for a layer of L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara just to blacken the lashes. And I layered plenty of MAC Giga Black Lash Mascara to make my lower lashes stand out. Then I applied these Sugar Pill false eyelashes called Glitzy. I'm pushing them up so they stand up straight, and then adding a light coat of mascara to my natural lashes so they blend in with the spiky ones. I slapped on my brows, as per usual, with the Urban Decay Brow Box in Bathwater Blonde and Benefit Gimme Brow, and then applied some extra Inglot number 464 eyeshadow, blending up into the hairs at the front and combing them through with some more brow gel. I went onto my face, starting by priming with Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. I'm mixing NARS Sheer Glow Foundation and the Body Shop Lightning Shade Adjusting Drops, giving a very amusing dotty look, and I sprayed on some MAC Fix Plus for a very light gothic base. I did my usual concealer, except I added some of those lightning drops in there as well. I set the concealer in the center of my face with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder and Ethereal Light, and I went into the Sugar Pill eyeshadow in Taco with the Sigma F40 Large Angled Brush to pack that matte white eyeshadow along my cheekbones and through the high points of my face, and then I decided to lightly powder my entire face, enhancing the pale skin look. For some depth, I grabbed Benefit Browsings in Light on the tip of the Real Techniques contour brush to add an angled, severe shape to my face. I also brushed some of that powder down the sides and tip of my nose to match the rest of the face, and even a little bit under my lower lip and through the trough of my philtrum. I blended the eye makeup into the skin, starting with Peach Smoothie on the Buff and Blend brush, hitting both below and above the winged shape, not forgetting under the eyes as well. Now back to that dark brown eyeshadow to really accentuate the wing all the way up to the hairline, and I buffed that out also using the Inglot number 101R lightest shade. I added more Peach Smoothie to take that inner shape downwards and made sure it faded out with that lighter peach shadow. For blush, I took the same orange eyeshadow I used on my eyes. I dampened that down with the matte white eyeshadow so it wasn't too strong, and I blended some Peach Smoothie to ease the transition to the skin. I strengthened the contour to make it more of a feature and bring it back to the foreground. I couldn't resist a little highlight, so I grabbed a touch of MAC Vanilla pigment on the tip of my Hakuhodo highlight brush and carefully discreetly applied a little bit on the highest point of my cheekbone and sharpened up under the contour with a matte white angled brush. I darkened up my beauty spot with an eyebrow pencil to resurrect it back to life. And after a little stretch and dance, I did my lips, which you can check out in a lip art tutorial linked in the usual places. I have this stud wheel I got from the Born Pretty store, and I'm choosing these large and smaller gold circle studs, plus these gold 3mm spikes to add embellishments to the makeup by sticking them on with Prozade adhesive, following along underneath the winged eyeliner shape. This is a nod to the studs and hardware on the figure's corset and boots on the album cover. Then I took down my hair and arranged it into this kind of swept back wild mane thing, and I'm done. I love dark gothic makeup looks, and it was a lot of fun to incorporate the fiery background into the bright colors on the lid, especially since so many of the shadows literally had fire-related names. It was cool mixing the bright mattes with the deep warm browns, which I usually don't gravitate towards. And that gave rise to an interesting look with giant eyeshadow wings, just like all the winged beasties on the album art. I've always especially loved this EP cover, and I'm happy I've created a makeup look based on it. For other metal band inspired looks, check the card and description box. Also, make sure you check out Chiaroscuro's makeup tutorial, linked in all those special places. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this gothic collaboration and Cradle of Filth inspired tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Also check out my band and podcast on iTunes. And if you want to send me a letter or something, I have my PO box in the description box.